Welcome to TSG Foundation's Wisdom of the Zodiac. Today's lesson is going to be taken from Wisdom of the Zodiac, Volume 4, Chapter 25, titled Aquarius, Ready to Labor. So if you have your book, open it to page 291, and we will read together, and I will explain a few items, the highlights of the chapter, and then I suggest that you go through the entire chapter, read it all the way through, and do the meditation once again. If you're really ambitious this month, do this meditation every day for 7 days, and you will see a wonderful, peaceful feeling that you will have inside of you regarding this wonderful sun in Aquarius. It's a beautiful time of the year because it suggests to us that the time of Aquarius is all about purification. And the legend of the story is this, that Hercules, in one of his labors, one of his last labors, is asked by the king to come and clean out the stables that have been in pollution and debris for 30 years. So imagine stables that have not been cleaned for 30 years. So Hercules is asked to come and clean out the stables. And he goes in and takes a look and says, there's no way to clean these stables one shovel at a time, so he diverts 2 rivers and lets the rivers flow through the stables and clean out all the debris. So this suggests to us that there is a time in our life when we have to take out the big guns, so to speak, the rivers of life. That can be, for example, cleaning out your closet, washing things, or more importantly, in the spiritual sense, to let the energy of your psychic energy flow into your life, through your life, and clean out the debris, the garages, the stables that are physical, emotional, and mental in nature, even psychic in nature, that need to be cleaned out. So this is a beautiful chapter to consider in your life what it means to clean out, to purify, and what needs to be cleaned out and purified. If you're like all of us, we hold on to things in our thoughts, in our memories, in our habits that are way out of time now. They're old, they're worn out, they don't need to be in our life anymore. And these are things we hold on to. And whatever we hold on to has a psychic energy of its own, and it pulls us toward it. That is why we cannot go to the next step in our life, because we are holding on to patterns that are no longer viable for our new life. So as you're going forward in your spiritual life, don't forget that there has to be a commensurate amount of cleaning of past things in your life so that you can go forward. So think of this month as going forward with purification, so that you're not carrying the old debris of the stables with you in your new life or the new phase of your life. So you are going to be what? Ready to labor. That's what this chapter is all about. So let's look at that first paragraph on page 291. A time must come in your life, so read it with me, when you stand on the path and make a great commitment. So this isn't just saying, oh, I wish, I want, I feel. This is a great commitment where you are making a commitment with your physical being, your emotional and mental and spiritual being. You are standing and saying, I want to make a commitment. And what is that commitment? You must say, I am here, and I'm ready to carry great burdens and make great sacrifices. If such a time does not come in your life, you are failing. You are failing to go forward. This isn't just soft and easy teaching for us this month. It is very, very challenging, and it's going to challenge us to say, are you committed? Are you ready to carry the burden and make a sacrifice to let go the things that no longer matter in your life? Sooner or later, you must hurry. Yes, you must prepare yourself so that one day you stand on the path and say, I am really ready. And what are we getting ready for? Greater sacrifices, greater responsibilities, greater labor. We are going to change the world one person at a time. And if we take responsibility to do our part, then the world around us will change. We can't expect life to change if we are not willing to stand up and say, I am here, I am ready to carry great burdens and make great sacrifices. So we are going to make ourselves ready, and we're going to do that by looking at all of our life and what needs to be purified. Take a look at page 292. At the middle of the page, the paragraph that starts with the trash within us. Do you see that paragraph? The trash within us is accumulated within our animal nature. Of course, our physical, emotional, mental, lower mental nature are just reactionary natures. They need to be controlled with our soul power, our psychic energy. So the physical body, emotional body, and mental body are three very sneaky animals. So think of them as untrained animals that need to be trained just like we trained our dogs, our cats, our horses, so that they do what? They behave themselves and do what we tell them, instead of they running the house for us. And so many times people have household pets that run the show for them. And it's sad to see that, isn't it? With our physical action, we create lots of karmic trash. Think about what karmic trash we create with our physical actions. Look at all the violence and the sadness that goes on all over the world. What are those people doing but accumulating karmic trash in their life, and at the meantime hurting other people? And it accumulates in our centers in the etheric body. You see, every time we accumulate karmic trash, whether it's physical, emotional, mental, it creates a pattern in our subtle body called the etheric body. We dump into our etheric body every kind of wrong action. You see, we may finish with the action, but the pattern, the recording of it, is stuck in our subtle centers. This is very important. So when you think in terms of purification, think of purifying from the deep within and out, systemically. All our behaviors, deeds, actions, and reactions that are against beauty, goodness, righteousness, joy, and freedom accumulate in our etheric body as animal trash. So think of it that way. All the animal trash that is in our life that needs to be bagged and taken out and purified and made into fertilizer. And unless you clean that trash, you cannot shift your consciousness from your physical plane to a higher plane. This is really the crux of this entire chapter. Unless you clean that trash, you cannot shift your consciousness. You see, sometimes spiritual people think that by doing certain meditations and certain rituals, they can go ahead and expand their consciousness and change their consciousness. You can't do it if you're full of trash. That trash has to be removed. Why? Because wherever you go, you are carrying that with you, and it will pull you with its like vibration. I hope you understand that. Let's go to page 293. This is such a beautiful, beautiful and serious chapter, and I hope you take it very, very seriously as I do. Let's look at that second full paragraph. The advancement of life is gained through purification of our stable. Our stable is where we hold our animals or animal nature. Animals are not bad. We are not saying that. They have to be trained and used for the right purpose. So we are going to see what is it that we are putting in our garages, our stables, that need to be cleaned out. Sometimes in the Western world, we go to people's garages, for example, and they have garage sales. They have accumulated so much stuff that they don't even know what they have. Boxes and boxes, and there's no room for anything else. But we have that in our life as well, in our physical life and emotional life and mental stuff that we hold on to that is no longer needed. We are talking about advancement into light. You see, that's the keynote. We are not just talking about la-di-da and just simple trite words that we can say that sound sweet and nice. We're talking about advancement into light. Light means clarity, truth, and honesty. The intention of discipleship is to break your present level and enter new dimensions of consciousness, where you meet greater glory within you and greater tasks and responsibilities. Note that very carefully. Greater glory within you and greater tasks and responsibilities. You see, there is another theme that Torquem emphasizes throughout his writings, that we are not trying to expand our consciousness and become beautiful and holy disciples only so we shine. that we feel like we're better than anybody else. We are doing it so that we are able to carry out greater duties and greater responsibilities. Unless you clean the stable, you cannot shift your consciousness to another level. You see, nowadays, people want free, free, free. They want free everything. They want to be spoon-fed. They want their stables to be full of books and information and videos and audios and MP3s and all kinds of teachings. They just want to fill, fill, fill. But they're not taking into consideration, why are we doing that? Are you putting too much in your stables that prevents you from expanding your consciousness and taking on more responsibilities? Are you just simply filling, or are you changing your nature? Those are two very important questions for you to consider. Look at the second paragraph that is so beautiful on the same page, 293. And this is, again, very, very important and hardcore teaching. It is quintessentially Torquem, who doesn't spare any words. He's a very, very serious teacher. People read for 60 years. Yeah? They meditate for 60 years or more. They talk for 60 years. They even write for 60 years. But when you measure their consciousness or where they are in the same place as when they started doing all these things. Do you feel that way? Do you feel like you are doing all these things, reading books, meditating, watching videos, and yet you're in the same place? You're still stuck in the same old stable? Well, if you are, it's time to clean out. The greatest enemies of wisdom or life are those people who learn the wisdom and teach it. Okay, watch this very carefully. But then cannot substantiate that wisdom in their lives. It's just empty talk. They know all the words, all the formulas, and they yak, 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 but there's no substantiation. We don't want to be like that. We want to be real and genuine, authentic. Eventually they hate it. It's true. The traitors found in every religion or philosophy are those who did not digest the wisdom. So this entire chapter again rests on the idea that when you purify your stables, the old stuff that you have in your garage, in your stables, and the word stables is very nice because it says that the animals, the bodies that we have stuck in our stables need to be cleaned, purified, trained, so that they do what? They do what we tell them. We as souls tell them what to do. They don't rule our home. Okay, so digest the wisdom means you really understand it, you use it in the right way, and you don't use it to hurt other people, abuse other people, and wound and kill other people. And we see that in our life now. We don't need to say what that is, but we can see that in our life all over. So the next few pages represent what those rivers represent in our life. I suggest you read them, beauty and joy and so on. They're really, really important. And look at page 295 on the top. I love this page. When these rivers are released, we're talking about the rivers of psychic energy, the love, light, and beauty, the rivers that flow into your life and organize everything into your life. The first thing we see is total purification of our nature. It's like taking a psychic bath. It is so important. We come in contact with higher realities, not through our knowledge, but only through our purity. You see, we think that when we read high-level books, advanced books, that we are just understanding everything. But this is telling us that we do not understand the higher realities unless we approach them with purity, simplicity, and innocence, that cleanliness with which we approach the great teachings. Wow, this is so beautiful. Let's go on then and read that on page 295, that middle of the paragraph, the middle of the page rather. Spiritual teaching is also a higher science. It's a higher science. For example, love will totally purify many tensions and accumulations of germs in your system. Joy is a very strong antibiotic. It's been proven all over the world. It especially works in the brain, nervous system, and the nadis, the subtle centers, the subtle connections of your nervous system. It especially works in the brain. Okay, this is really important. That is why when you are lonely and do not have joy, or you are really depressed, if you find yourself in those conditions, it is a sign that visible and invisible germs and microbes are accumulating in your system. Okay? So you're going to think of that psychic bath you are going to take to clean out the stables. Okay. Let's go now then to page 296. So the first energy of Aquarius, as we discussed, is purification. You are going to look at it very logically, look at the stable of your life and say, what do I need to clean out? Whether it's your closet, your shoes, your pantry, or your emotional body, or your mental body, your beliefs, the foundation on which you make decisions. These things all need to be looked at. Remove them so that the books that you study, the meditations that you do, truly take you to a new level of consciousness, and they do not just merely pull the old stuff with it. How can you expand your consciousness unless you clean out the debris in your life and become fresh and new? Okay, so the first path is purification, and these are the energies. There are 8 energies in the sign of Aquarius, the first one being purification. I'm not going to talk about all of them. I'd like to ask you to read each one day out of the week of the full moon. That makes 8 days. I think we can put 8 days aside out of every month for one 15-minute session. Read that aspect. Purification, what does it mean? Universalization or inclusiveness, what does that mean? Meditate on those keynotes. And meditation is so simple in this sense. It is not just blanking out. It is taking that seed thought with your eyes open or closed and ask yourself, what does this mean in my life and how can I bring this about? That's all it is. It's very, very simple. So what I'm going to talk about in a little more detail, in addition to purification, is contained on page 298. The 5th energy is the energy of detachment. I love this because I don't think there is the possibility of purification unless you are willing to detach from the stuff that's accumulated in your garage or in your stable. The 5th energy is the energy of detachment. Please read with me. Aquarius teaches detachment. We have to detach in order to take steps to the next step. Do not attach to physical things, emotional things, or mental things, because attachment creates stables. So remember, when you can't throw that thing away or share it or give it to somebody who can use it, you are going to keep creating stuff in your stables. You can't give it away, you can't get rid of it, you can't clean it out. It's going to accumulate and accumulate. So that idea that you can't get rid of something creates stables, attachments. If you really think about it, you will see how attachment has created all the mess you have in your life. This is powerful. Attachment means to lose the voice of your heart. Okay, when we get stuck to ways of doing things, ways of thinking, ways of feeling, all we are doing is not listening to the voice of our heart. We are saying stuff matters, things matter in our life. That is not really the voice of our heart. If we listen to the voice of our heart, we'll take all those clothes and shoes that we don't need and give it to someone who needs it. A homeless shelter, a family who can use it, children who can use it. If you have books, food, all kinds of items in your house, furnishings that you no longer need, they're just sitting and accumulating dust. Why not share them? Take them to a library, take them to a shelter, or to an organization who services people who are in great need. This is so important. Attachment means to lose the voice of your heart. Think about what this means. It's really a profound, profound statement. The next part of attachment is this. Do not impose yourself on others. What do we do when we impose? We are saying my way, my opinion, my ideas, my faith is the way to go. So I'm going to tell you how to do it. And that is attachment to my way. And that's what's wrong. That is what's wrong. We see in many, many areas of our life. People are so stuck to their side and to their opinions that they are so attached to them that they impose it on everybody else. Imposition is a companion of attachment. So when you are so stuck to your way, what do? You write about it, think about it, talk about it, that is the only way to fly, and you impose it on other people. And what happens when we impose? It takes other people's freedom away, and all we're doing is expressing our ego, our vanity, our illusions, and various deceptions in our life. So you can see that when we attach to things and our way is the only way, then we are imposing and we are accumulating more debris in our life. Not only stuff that doesn't need to be there, but people's ill will. Who likes it when we impose on other people and say our way is the only way? People will say, who do you think you are, right? So these are two things for me to share with you today. The idea of the energies of Aquarius, those rivers that come into our life and clean us out. One of them is to purify and clean out. Another one is the energy of detachment, to detach for things that no longer are needed in your life. Maybe at one time you needed these things, but now you don't need them. So there are 8 energies, and I suggest that you read this chapter once through, all the way through, and then take one day at a time for 8 days. Read one section, meditate on it, and use this format of meditation that we are going to do now, and see how come you can get new insights and see what part of your life really needs to be cleaned out now. Okay, so let's do this beautiful meditation that is on pages 300 to 301. And the way to do meditation is 3 steps. One is to relax and always put a smile on your face. Relax so that you're not tense, and take 3 deep breaths. And then I'm going to ask us to connect with the words that we are going to say, the great invocation, and align yourself as high as you can with your soul, with that great energy within you. And then I will guide us through the rest of the meditation. So you're ready? Put your book down and sit erect with your spine erect. There you go. Put a smile on your face and relax. Close your eyes and relax. Take a deep breath and relax. Another one. A third breath. Imagine all of us from all over the world, countries from around the world, people joining us from everywhere and saying this great invocation with us. Focus yourself saying it with everybody so that you are not thinking about your own problems, but thinking about the words. We will say the great invocation slowly and with focus, and pause between each phrase. From the point of light within the mind of God, let light stream forth into the minds of men. Let light descend on earth. Think of the river of light descending on earth. From the point of love within the heart of God, let love stream forth into the hearts of men. May Christ return to earth. Think of the Christ energy radiating all over the world as a second river. From the center where the will of God is known, let purpose guide the little wills of men, the purpose which the masters know and serve. Think of the divine will of God radiating throughout the world, the one God who unifies all mankind. from the center, which we call the race of men, let the plan of love and light work out, and may it seal the door where evil dwells. Think of humanity from all walks of life, every man, woman, and child, uniting in love and light and divine will, and sealing the door where evil dwells. Do that in your imagination and visualization. With a strong voice, let's say the last phrase. Let light and love and power restore the plan on earth. Let's take a long, deep breath and say one Om silently. Meditation seed thought is the following. How can I clean the robes of my soul? Those are your bodies. How can I clean them? Think of very practical and simple ways you can clean your physical, emotional, and mental bodies and clean out those stables. Think very logically and with focus. Now go to your emotional body, and as you think of the three ways you can clean out your emotional body, think of that love energy pouring on your emotions and cleaning them out. Now going to your mind, think of that light energy, beautiful lemon yellow color, purifying your mind and your entire body with that beautiful, radiant light. Let's repeat the last stanza of the Great Invocation as a unified humanity, sitting together, arm in arm, all religions, all peoples, all colors, from all nations. From the center, which we call the race of men, let the plan of love and light work out, and may it seal the door where evil dwells. Let light and love and power restore the plan on earth. And may it restore the plan in our individual lives as well. When you do this meditation on your own, you can say 3 ohms after the first great invocation. And at the end, when you say the second great invocation, either in whole or in part, sound 7 ohms, either silently or out loud. These are beautiful, beautiful meditations, and visualize and meditate solid. And when you're finished with your meditation, take a few minutes. Don't just rush to your work. Take a few minutes, sit in silence, and write your thoughts out, and just be in that beautiful light and love and power of the divinity, and let that radiate in your life in its purity, and clean out all the debris in your stables. If we don't clean out, how can we proceed to the greater consciousness that we all wish and desire and strive toward? So thank you for being with me, and I hope you have a wonderful full moon of Aquarius, and the sun in Aquarius enlightens you, lightens you, and lightens your load in every way, and leave behind all the things that we no longer need. And may this happen in your life and the life of all of us on this sad, sad planet. Let's bring this planet back to life the way it should be. So thank you for joining me, and I hope you enjoy these sessions, and I hope you enjoy these books, The Wisdom of the Zodiac. If you don't have a copy, get your copy. They're beautiful, and I know that when you buy the whole set, we have a special discount for you. So visit our website for special discounts and your collection of these wonderful, wonderful books. Thank you for being with me. Have a great day, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.